Hello and welcome to Willow Talk. Great to have your company for another week and plenty to talk about in the world of cricket. Adam Peacock here, Brad Haddin there. You're in St Kitts at the moment, Hads, and I understand in the last 12 hours or so you thought you were going to just end it over there in St Kitts out of your own hands with the weather gods playing a few tricks.
Yeah, Adam, you haven't got the best timing on phone calls in general. You're one of those people that can ring at always the worst time, and I've got a rum punch waiting for me at the bar. So, mate, it's good to hear from you. It's good to hear from all our listeners as well, but I've got to go.
Yeah, okay, see you, Hads. So there was a biblical storm, so you're now just enjoying your second chance at life, basically.
Yeah, it's we had one of those tropical storms where everything in St Kitts stopped. Mate, there was floods everywhere. People were running for cover. The rum was still flowing. That was a good thing. But yeah, the sun came back out. Everyone's around the beach, on the jet skis, playing beach volleyball. The Poms have had too much sun, who think it's an exclusive resort. But it's been all happening. And the back of that, what about the style of play that these strains are playing? It has been absolutely first class to watch.
We will rip into that absolutely just at the top of the show, and we're going to get to India, England. I love Haz's thoughts on how it all ended over there at Old Trafford, but make sure you check out our social media channels at Willow Talk Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, plus check out our YouTube channel at Listener Sport. All the full-length videos, all the great stories, they're all right there listed for you. Hope you enjoy that. Shout out to the under-17 team from the Crookwell Blue Cricket Club. They are mates who play in the local comp and have an Instagram where they share their fun and stupid times as well. Go check them out at Crookwell Blues 17s. And also, for the rest of you, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We love hearing your feedback, and we'll read out more when Heels and Hads are back together, united, back in the studio when Hads gets away from the rum punch and away from the beautiful climate of St Kitts. Nico left a review on Apple saying, how good was the 2005 Ashes special? Binger is a funny man, and they all had great stories. Check that out. That was late last week. We put together some of the best stories from the 2005 Ashes, 20 years on, and Hads, they showed that final day's play in the lunch break on day 5 of Edgbaston, India, England. So it was great to reminisce about what nearly was, but we'll get to that a bit later on. The T20 series over there, Hads, the firepower from our batting lineup. Okay, it's West Indies, but where does this put us in the next 12 months for T20 cricket? It's been extraordinary.
Oh, it's been an extraordinary series to watch live. The one thing Mitch Marsh said at the start, they want to give guys opportunities, but they want to give guys opportunities in different roles. You got 3 fast bowlers to come back into this group. Travis Head will be at the top of the order. One of the big finds of the tour has been Mitch Owen. Mitch Owen's role has changed. They've given him opportunity in the later part and the middle overs to see how his power can be used in a different way, and that's been really refreshing to watch. They could have easily moved him up the top of the order, but they're looking for that power at the back end of the game with a World Cup. Tim David's 100 was something out of this world, and I'll tell you the reason why is he came in when the game was on the line. And you talk a lot about matchups, and I know we talk a lot about how you structure a 2020 game, but he came out and they bowled 3 overs of spin, and his role is wherever he plays is to take spin on. Tactically, West Indies got it so wrong, but the game was in the balance, and in those 3 overs, he scored 70 runs. One stage they brought Chase on just to get through an over and off spin after he just hit the 2 left arm spinners. The first ball he hit down to deep long on. He put his hand up and said, no run. And in the commentary box, everyone's going, oh, he should have taken a run there. And I looked at everyone and I said, hold on to your seats. This is his matchup he's been looking for. And I think there was another couple of dots in the over, but the over went for, I think, 20, a couple of sixes, and there was a no ball. They panicked. But, mate, the way he took the game on, and just from a game that was touch and go to Australia just cruising in, was absolutely great to watch.
Firstly, 2 questions about that Tim David innings. Did anyone in the crowd be silly enough to not pay attention with what's going on, because someone could get seriously wounded there? And secondly, how many balls were lost? Because it looked like every second one went out of the actual confines of the stadium.
Well, the problem was not for the fans. They were the safest seat in the house was in the grandstand, because every ball went out of the ground. It's only a 53-metre hit at St Kitts Strait, and every one of Tim David's shots went out of the ground. And it was actually quite funny driving into the ground. There was a heap of kids running around on the road, throwing cricket balls around. And I was looking at them when I came in. They all had semi-brand new white cricket balls, which is odd. There was about 15 kids. They all had a ball. And I was talking to the batting coach, Michael Divenuto, and I said, mate, did you have a range hitting ding on his son? He said, mate, we lost about 20 balls the night before the game. Our guys were range hitting. And the young West Indian kids, they know that the dimensions of the ground, Australia's there. They were standing outside of the ground and they pickpocketed every ball. So it was, mate, out of a training session, they lost 20 balls, and I know exactly where they were.
So you're saying that the St Kitts now, you've got young proprietors of their version of Kingsgrove Sports just selling cricket balls and maybe the odd bat and everything out there. Like, how is Tim David after all that? You know him a little bit, obviously, from around the circuit, but he spoke really nicely about, I never thought I'd get the opportunity to score 100 for Australia because I play a role where that's probably not possible. But he must have been absolutely buzzing after that.
Oh, he was. He spoke really well after the game, actually. It would be hard not to get excited and be over-emotional with the innings like that. But what this team's done really well at the start of the tournament, it's all been about finding a way that they can contribute and play in different roles. And Tim had an opportunity in a different role, probably 2 spots higher than he's played previously. He was very grateful for the opportunity. He took it back to the team, but mate, they had a bit of fun too with him as well. He had a different sort of a claw celebration with the boys. Had some fun in the change room, but yeah, he hadn't played for some time. Also, he'd been out with that hamstring injury from the IPL. But mate, he spoke beautifully after the game. It was a special knock. I have to go back to 2007 here, and I don't think I've seen a better 100 than what Matthew Haddin scored in the World Cup here against South Africa. But this is one of those innings you remember exactly where you were, and it was a privilege to watch him live.
Hey, just this batting lineup, and we'll get into more detail when you get home about the makeup of the side and what it looks like going forward. But is it just me, or could they also be a really good footy team? Like, you've got Mitch Marsh, big unit.
Yep.
Mitch Owen, big unit. Cam Green, massive unit. Tim David, big unit. Glenn Maxwell's not small, and you've got the little halfback Josh Inglis as well. So
mate,
you've got the full complement.
I'll tell you the other one you got there. He got no runs the other day, but standing up against him, Cooper Connolly's a bigger man than you'd think also. There's definitely a big forward line. The way they play their cricket, though, I wouldn't see a lot of them wanting to be in the back line and saving goals. They all want to be kicking goals and running out from the box. But, mate, they're a powerful, powerful cricket team, and they're playing a style of game where the opposition, yes, they get a couple of wickets, but they don't stop. No one loses momentum. They've got so much trust in the group behind them that they just continue to go. And the West Indies at times have been in the contest, but with the nature of this batting lineup, they get a wicket, and the next 2 overs will go to 30, and all of a sudden Australia are back in front of the game. The moment the West Indies just look shocked about the power this team has. They tried some different things last game. They went around the wicket. They tried to bowl across the right hand of Inglis and hit them in the back of the heels. They bowled a lot of wides. They had an execution problem. But what I liked about what they were trying to do, they're trying to do something different. Because the power of this team, if you keep doing the same thing, they're actually not even going to be in the contest.
Hey, what about the bowling unit as well? Like, some of these decks, you'd look like you'd rather wash dishes for a month than bowl on some of these decks. They look nice to bat on, but has anyone really stood up with the ball for Australia, in your opinion?
Yep, there has. Nathan Ellis. I know we've got the 3 fast bowlers to come back into this group, but it's hard to leave Nathan Ellis out of a 2020 team. And the reason I say that is the sequence he works in, how he puts his overs together. It's not just about bowling a slow ball and it's about knowing where to pitch his slow ball, what batsman to bowl it to. Do I take the batter wide? Do I hit him in the heel? Do I bowl a slower ball short of a length? The way he's planning his overs, he's looked like the one bowler that's in total control of everything he's trying to do. And it's been a huge difference in the series. And another thing about Ellis, he only ever gets the ball when you're in trouble. He doesn't get the ball when the things are going your way. So he's been a standout. I thought Aaron Hardy and Xavier Bartlett made a huge difference yesterday or in game 4 because they swung the ball up front. And Bartlett, he's come off a really successful time in the American League. Hardy's been at the Kings. He didn't play, but he developed his game a lot with James Hopes. And he swung the ball up top. So a big difference yesterday was the way those guys bowled up front. But what about the way they fielded? The catching and the attitude that they showed yesterday was one of the big differences in this campaign. West Indies, they're a team of 11 individuals, and they're just waiting for someone to get an 80 or someone to get a 5. There's not a lot of thought in going into all the little parts of the game that make you a good team, and that's the one thing that stood out.
Hey, Hads, I don't know what your present was from your teammates or some local authorities when you decided to give big-time cricket away, but Andre Russell... Picture of yourself? Okay. Signed, Dear Hads, all the best, Brad Haddin. Andre Russell from the Jamaican authorities, I think it was a local government official, handed over a cricket bat stroke guitar. So they put strings and a ball inside a cricket bat, and it's a hybrid of both. And it's a big thing. It's like, up to Andre's chest. So, yes, and he's not a small man. So that is one of the more unique things I've ever seen invented.
It was. I don't know where he'll put it up. I know when I retired, New South Wales gave me a nearly a life-size painting of myself keeping.
Oh, yeah? Where has that gone?
Above my bed.
On the ceiling.
No, I'll tell you where it is, actually. It's at ACT Cricket. Have got it. I think it's in the office of Stuart Carpenter. But it's there, so...
At least Andre's going to need sturdy craftsmanship and carpentry on his walls to be able to hang this thing. It looks massive, but hey, he's a big character. He gets a big present when he goes away, which is all fair enough. We're talking to Hads before the 5th T20 International. What will happen is that the kids outside the ground at St Kitts will get another 15 balls to add to their collection, and Australia will win 5-0. We'll review it in full when Hads gets back, but the ice cubes in the rum punch are melting, so we better get to a quick break, drinks break on Willow Talk. Back in a sec to talk India-England with Hads. Hads, India-England keeps on serving up talking points. So we go 2-1 into the last test at the Oval in a couple of days' time. It wasn't a dramatic end at Old Trafford, but it was still spicy. This whole series has had an edge to it. And I was watching players shake hands, and there's, a little bit of, good on you, mate. When you go up and shake hands with someone, you don't like them, and you give a big extra, and you look them in the eye. There's a bit of that going on.
They didn't look them in the eye.
No, some of them didn't. Some of them didn't even shake hands.
Really?
Yeah, I saw Stokes and Jadeja. He didn't want a bar of it.
Well, it's interesting the end of that test match because India were 2 for none. So England are up and about. They thought they're going to win the tests, and there was an unbelievable partnership. Gill once again, KL Rahul were outstanding. And as the game went on, and India showed tremendous fight, unbelievable the application they showed to bat. Then all of a sudden it got to a situation where England said they can't win, so let's stop the game. So everything's got to stop because England are done playing. I like what India done, mate. They'd earned the right to stay out there as long as they need to. They earned the right to get 100. And just because it didn't go England's way and they didn't get the answer that they want, all of a sudden, they're not happy. They started to get verbal. Duckett was interesting and Crawley. They both reacted in a way I think Australia can really have a look at. But if things don't go England's way and they don't get the rub of the green, all of a sudden it's everyone else's problem. So well done to India for staying out there. Well done for getting a draw as well. But when England were dropping all those with the catches, they gave enough chances to win the test match. That's what they should be looking at, not that India decided to stay on a little bit longer because they'd earned the right.
What did you make then with 15 overs to go? It's weird. With 15 overs to go, you think, well, yeah, 6 wickets is still possible, but obviously the air had gone out of the tyres. So Ben Stokes chucks the ball to Harry Brook, who opens up a pie shop and just sent down some stuff that wouldn't have got me out. Oh, the odd ball, like some of them were decent, but it made it easy for Washington and Jadeja to accelerate to their 100 so everyone could just go home. What did you make of Harry just floating a couple down there?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. If England decided there that there was not going to be a result, they got back-to-back test matches, no point bowling their frontline bowlers. You want to make sure that they're as fresh as they can be to be available for selection. And that's happened for cricket forever and a day. But as I said, the only interesting thing was the reaction when England thought they were done, everyone else had to jump. And India, as we know, mate, they'd earned the right. They'd earned the right. It's okay to go and bowl Brook, get through the overs. I loved it. I loved the way India just turned their back on them and said no.
I don't have a problem so much with how England have got about it, like, you know, their reactions to everything, like Ben Stokes, that little kind of conversation he had with Ravi Jadeja at the end of the day's play. You mentioned Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley, and it's all very chirpy out there given what's happened in the series so far. But I will say this, imagine for a moment if the current Australian team acted the way that the current England team are acting. I'll just hang that out to you, Hads, after you're a couple of run punches down over there, nice and relaxed, how you might react to that. What do you reckon the reception would be both here in Australia and over in England if an Australian team was, competing like this?
Well, I think we're going to find out. I think they're going to start the Ashes series on nice terms, but I think when push comes to shove, we're going to see some real combative Test cricket. So we'll get that answer, I reckon, halfway through day 3 in the first Test. I think it's going to take. Yeah, I think it's going to be on. If I was Australia, I would have taken some real interesting notes, just the way they reacted when things weren't going their way, and a couple of key players. Make Ben Stokes to be fine. He's as we've seen through this series, he's a measured captain. He backs his team. He loves the ball in his hand or the bat when the game's on the line. But a few of the other players I found interesting reactions. So it's going to be, to answer your question, let's just hold off, because I think we're going to see a bit of spice in this Ashes, which everyone's looking forward to.
Let's not let all of this overshadow what was some magnificent batting on a friendly wicket, and also Ben Stokes' overall effort, 6 wickets, 141, like fantastic. He did say after it that he'll probably be there for the last Test. Like physically, he's obviously not 100%, but very few are. Both teams' bowling attacks are going to have to change because there were some broken men at the end of that Test match.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do with Archer. He's been out of Test cricket for, 4 years. I think at a selection table, it'd be really hard to let him play 3 Tests in a row, especially I know you don't like to look too far ahead, but I'm putting him on ice for the Ashes. Ben Stokes is another one. He wants the ball when the moments are there to be won, and sometimes his personality can be detrimental to his body because he just wants to compete. So it's going to be a couple of interesting selections. Bumrah's the same. There was a clear message at the start of the series that Bumrah can't play everything, and it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out because he had 2 days off. And do you, as coach, because Bumrah's standing in the game, do you make the decision to stick to what the plan was at the start, or do you walk up to him and say, what do you want to do?
Yeah, surely you ask the player, don't you? Like grown adults.
Well, the player's never going to say no. You're not going to say no. It's just they'll have a lot of markers, but I would expect Bumrah will play. Archer will be a different one. They got Atkins to come in. They need to have a look at him. I reckon England before the Ashes. He's only been playing second team cricket, coming back from injury. Whether they roll the dice and pick him. You got Ollie Stone available too. He's played a couple of games. He's got some raw pace. So he played the first 2 tests and we haven't seen him since. So there's some decisions for both teams to make. And do you look at a bigger picture, or are you just looking at here and now to win this series?
Who wins the series? England win the test, India win the test, England play for a ball draw, win the series. What plays out at the Oval?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I thought England would win the series. I think I said 3-1 or 4-1 at the start. It's interesting. Momentum changed a bit in that last day. I think England banked on India just rolling over, but India found a way through the whole series just to keep fighting back. I'm still going to go England. I think England will win the last test. I'm not too sure what they'll do with their spin option. Do they play someone like Jacob Bethel, who bowls a little bit of part-time left arm spin, but it strengthens their batting? And I know he's someone that they want to bring in. And do India go the other way? Do they finally bring Kuldeep Yadav in? They bring a left armer in Arshdeep to give them something different. But yeah, there's some interesting selection and conversations have to be made.
Hads, we've reefed you away from what was a very relaxing Sunday evening over there in St Kitts, and we'll let you get back to relaxing. There's a rum punch somewhere at that bar with your name on it, or maybe a multiple number of rum punches, and we wish you well. Good luck with the call for the 5th, and good luck with the 72-hour flight home.
The rum punch is waiting. Thank you.
We'll be back later in the week with more Willow Talk. While Hads is up in the air, we'll have something else for you later in the week. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.